This segment is going to be about how I prospect and reach people who are in pre-foreclosure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with lists of people. And again, I get these lists of contacts and everything. It's just aggregated data that you can find in the newspaper. But some title representatives will take the time to go ahead and compile all that and send it to you. And that's where I get my data from. So I'm going to choose some people that I've already sent postcards to. What I'm kind of looking for is someone that's kind of close to where I am, and I sent these out at the beginning of last week. What I'm looking for is a single individual, okay, not like an LLC or something like that. It has a mailing address that's an office. I'm trying to find individuals who are in the foreclosure process whose pretty much only option is a short sale. So take a look at the information we can find on Remind. So we'll go ahead and log in on the MLS. And go to, actually, no, that's not what I want. I want Remind. So there's a lot of programs that do what Remind does. But I just like Remind because it like puts everything in one place. It gives you the tax information, who lives there, what their information is. Sometimes you can find information on the loan, the value of the property. Of course, you want to do your own comp that's more up to date, but it kind of gives you almost like the way that a Zestimate works when you go on Zillow. Yeah, Remind kind of gives you something similar to that. So we'll go ahead and put in the address, and you can see it has his name on it. That's the person that says, and this person's in foreclosure. Okay, so this is a mobile home. The value is $275, is what it says. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I think this is like a double wide mobile home. And it includes the land, and then there's like a spot that could be used for RV parking. So maybe just based on the overview of these numbers, this person will probably want to keep their house. If they have that much equity and they don't owe that much on the loan, they've owned it for 18 years, and the property taxes are $400. So they're probably going to want to keep the house, most likely. So they're probably not a person that I would try and contact because there's not a lot of upside on mobile homes. Even though the land is, worth what it is. In fact, let's just take a look at a CMA just for fun, just to see what we might be able to get in this market. Here we go. Okay, we're going back to list date descending. So 3-2 sold for $251, so 14 under list, and it's sold on the 14th of July. So nothing sold at all this month. Nothing sold at all this month, and the last ones that have are these. I mean, these are going to be single-family homes almost guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, this one is pretty... well, it's pretty something. I'll say that. And this one sold for $251. That's a good price for that, actually. Let's see. I mean, yeah, that's probably a good price for even just for that amount of land, because this one is 1,600 square feet almost, but it's built in 1950, so there's going to be some issues with insulation and stuff if those haven't been fixed. I actually recognize Beluga Bay. I've seen Beluga Bay before, and I visited another house on the same street. So, and this is something that I've read when I was doing research on a kind of going after this business, is that usually if there's one foreclosure in an area, there's a few in that same neighborhood, or there's a few people that are struggling in that neighborhood. So, yeah, in the future, once I kind of get a bite and a little bit more budget to like work this, what I would be doing is kind of creating a farm based on the whole neighborhood, or 3 or 4 or 5 block radius of the people that are in notice of default here, because there's probably quite a few that could use my help. So that's in the future. Right now, I'm just doing what I can. I'm sending the mail. That's one touch, and it's $1 per touch, which is pretty expensive. But it's also like a small scale. So the more postcards you print, the cheaper it is per postcard. So that's kind of where I'm at. But there was one guy who was in foreclosure, and he's actually been through foreclosures before. He's been through notice of default and been through notice of sale, and does like loan modifications. Like, you can see all like the record of those things. Those are public record. So I contacted him. I got a hold of him, and he seemed like he was interested in kind of knowing what his options are. And then I got home and did some research, because I set an appointment with him the next day. And I did some research on his property. I asked the title representative to get me kind of just a profile on this particular property. And what I found was, what was recorded on the deed was that there was another real estate company who, it looked like they had bought the home and now they're listing the home. They're kind of going in between. And so that's kind of how they were approaching it. But he had no idea that was happening. He was kind of, he was taken by surprise. But I told him, I said, I think that you should know this, that your home is being listed on the MLS. And if your name's on the deed and you're not okay with it, maybe you should look into it. That's, beyond my purview as a realtor. Those are things that you need to contact a legal representative for. And those are, resources that I can direct you to. But ultimately, you might want to take a look at this, because this is happening with your property. But, stuff like that happens where just some people are unaware of what's going on. And even, just people in notice of default just have no idea. They're like, I thought my payments were going through, or I thought this was happening. Okay. Let's see what some of the history is on this. Distressed, document type, notice of rescission, recording date. Oh. The next part of this is going to be like a ride along.